There we go. Everything should be hearable now. It is the free channel. It's BVD free sometimes too. What's going on, everybody? Do we have volume? I hate StreamYard. I really do. Okay, that's good. That means volume's working. Don't mean to give you any heart attackery there, Billy. I'm just waiting for oh, Brian's in the back. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear anything, Brian? Good deal. All right, we'll bring Brian in here in just a minute. What's going on, boys and girls? It is Good Friday, and today is a good Friday. No, today is a good. No, today is a great Good Friday. Every Friday is good, but today is Good Friday, so that makes it a really good Friday. Hope everyone's staying safe. Hope everyone's hearing me. That would be a bonus. That would be a huge plus. Going to bring Brian in here in just a minute. Just wanted to say hello to everyone, get a few people in here. That's amazing, Matt. We've got sound at the beginning. We've got video at the beginning. I've got Brian waiting in the back room there. Looks like he's got one of his kitties with him. So like I said earlier, be on your best behavior. Brian, if you can see the comment section, give me a thumbs up. If you can't, give me a thumbs down. Not seeing either one. So anyway, you guys be nice tonight. Brian is a good Christian man. Don't need to be fooling with any tomfoolery in the comment section. Good to see everybody tonight. If you missed the morning show, we had Bad Dog in there this morning. Good show as always. A lot of NFL talk. No NFL talk tonight. Obviously, there will be some college football talk. Duh. We've got a former Alabama kicker in here. So I know if there's any Auburn fans in here, which I doubt. I don't even think any Auburn fans watch my stuff. Be nice. Because if you're not nice, Brian might have to get unnice with you. So let's see if I can bring my boy Brian in here. See if we can get this thing working. Like all hashtag professionally and all that good stuff. We'll see what happens. See if his audio is working. What's going on, Brian? Can you hear me?
Yep. Good, man. I'm good.
Yeah. 2 for 2. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. Doing really good. So just I got you got my 3 little ones back here, and they love to fight.
You got 3 now.
And they just, oh yeah, man. Lots changed since I last saw you. A lot. I think I only had 1 at the time.
Been a while since Brian and I talked. Brian and I met in Raleigh, North Carolina several years ago. And of course, I'll leave it up to Brian to talk about whether or not he's still there. Brian, clearly the title tells everybody who you are, but take just a few minutes to tell everybody who you are, when you kicked at Alabama, and what's going on with you right now.
Okay, sure. You had to forgive this little screaming in the background. I don't know what the number 7 is doing behind my name either. That must have just been a typo. But anyway, so I grew up in Birmingham, right outside Birmingham, Alabama, and went to high school called Minor High School in '94, and wasn't had a couple of smaller schools look at me. Wasn't wasn't busting the recruiting charts, wide open by any stretch. And it was what ended up happening is I split my kidney my senior year in high school.
Ouch.
And Coach Stallings is a good man, and he heard about my injury, and he called me in the hospital, not even knowing anything about me, who I was, or anything except maybe my first name. And so during the phone call, he asked me what he could do for me, and I said, "Well, Coach, it's grown up being an Alabama fan my whole life, and I'd just like a chance to play for you one day, if that's okay." And he said, "You got it." And to make a long, that is a really long story, but to make a long story short, I was an unknown. So so I wasn't going to really get much of a shot. And hang on one second. Hey. Jacob, go in the house.
Roll.
Sorry. Yeah. And so I was an unknown trying to walk on to the team at Alabama. And make a long story short, how I got my shot was I had to go to Coach Sellings' office and remind him of his promise that he had given me. At that point, it had been a year and a half. And so he stayed true to his promise, gave me a shot, and that's how I made the team. And then ended up getting cut the following fall, and 6 months later, and one person really encouraged me not to quit, and so I got another shot and ended up making it. So it's a really long story, and I can get into it some other time, just about how the Lord worked in in that way. But as Keith said, I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina for about 9 years, working there, and had been following Keith. I didn't know his real name at the time, just knew he was BVD at the time. And I was a fan, and I kept up with the show and watched it on a regular basis, and was sitting in a restaurant in North Raleigh called Char Grill, best burgers
Char Grill,
in the city of Raleigh. And so I see this pickup truck with this big orange T on the hood, and I thought to myself, wow, that guy loves Tennessee. And sure enough, Keith steps out of the truck. I thought, you got to be kidding me. So Keith goes and orders his food, and there's this little bench right there in front of the place where you order the food. And there's just enough room, so I went and sat down next to him and looked over and said, "What's up, Big Ball Daddy?" And you said what I was thinking when I saw you. You said exactly the words, "You've got to be kidding me." I was like, "No, man, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I watch you all the time." And so Keith, you had lunch with my friend Adam and I, and friendship was birthed from that moment, and so now here I am with having the honor of getting to be a guest on your show.
It's really kind of sad on my part that it took this long to get you on here. We lost contact there for a little while. Life happens for both of us, obviously, by the fact that you got a backyard full of kitties running around now. And I think you're right. I think you did have one at the time. We won't worry about how you ended up in where you're at now. And I think one thing I've always wanted to know that I never asked you, I think.
Okay.
Were you, and you pretty much kind of explained it there a minute ago, so you weren't highly sought after. You weren't given a lot of offers from SEC schools, correct?
Oh, no offers. No, I mean, not even any offers from from the smaller schools. I had chance to walk on to UAB, and this is when they were Division III, so they were actually just getting started out. And believe it or not, they actually had a pretty good kicker there named Kevin Thomason. He had played for Auburn for 3 years, and then when UAB got started, he went to UAB and played all 4 years there. So he was actually, and so when you go down to Division III, at least back then, the clock started on your eligibility. So he actually played college football for 7 years.
Wow.
And he was a really good kicker. But my heart belonged in Tuscaloosa, and so that's how I got my shot was getting injured. Believe it or not, I don't think I would have gotten a shot just because I was unknown. Nobody knew who I was. I wasn't on any recruiting charts or anything. I didn't have any elaborate high school statistics.
Whatever it takes, right?
Whatever it takes.
Getting a few questions coming in from the comment section, and my buddy Pigskin Pete asked quite a bit ago. I didn't want to interrupt you. Did you play with Dabo?
I did. Well, actually, he was an assistant coach at the time. He was a graduate assistant when I first got there, and he was a wide receivers coach during my time there. Daddy's on the phone. I'll blow bubbles in a minute, okay? And Dabo Swinney, though, he's a real deal, Keith. He's a real deal. So what you see is what you get with Coach Swinney. And I remember running into him years later when he was an assistant at Clemson at California Pizza Kitchen at the Summit Shopping Mall in Birmingham. And we sit there and talked like it had been 8 years previously. And he's just the same. And I also got a chance to go by Clemson back in 2010. And I was working there for a week. Sorry, I just got to open these bubbles right quick. And 2010.
Daddy duties come first.
It is. And got to spend, probably about 10 or 15 minutes with Coach Swinney there at his office in Clemson. And just a great guy, just a really genuine, sincere guy. So what you see on the television, that's what you get in real life too. And it's hard not to pull for Dabo Swinney.
The weekend that Brian and I met, he gave me this. It's a book. It's a book he wrote on the shoulder of giants. And I have a confession to make. When I got back home, I started reading the book and I got through about half of it. Don't know what happened. This has been years ago. I set it down and didn't get back into it until a couple of weeks ago when I talked to you. First of all, is the book still available? Anybody interested, can they get a copy of this online perhaps? Because it is a really good read.
Well, appreciate that, Keith. I've only got a few left. I've only got about 5 or 6 left. I haven't got any printed in a long time. Life kind of just happened, and I got a 5, 3, and 1-year-old running around, and so got married, and then
we lost the audio.
Uh-oh. You there?
At least I did.
Can you hear me, Keith?
Can you guys hear him? Lost the audio.
How about now? Is that better?
Nope, cannot hear you.
Oh, okay. Well,
not sure what happened there.
Yeah.
Oh, they can hear you. I can't hear you. Okay. So, well, that's good. It's good that they can at least hear you. I don't know why. Just all of a sudden I lost my volume with you. I don't know what the deal is. It didn't touch anything, so I can't blame this one on myself. I don't know what the heck happened there. I'll try to do this best I can without being able to hear you. Maybe the audio will show back up. I know one thing one person asked earlier was for you to explain or tell us maybe one of or several of your most memorable games. And I know Neyland Stadium is going to be one of those stories because that's in the book. And so talk a little bit about some of your most memorable games, scariest moments, if you had any, stuff like that.
Oh, man. Well, obviously the very first extra point was extremely special. It was in my hometown of Birmingham, and was extremely special. It was in my hometown of Birmingham. Okay, that's a delay in the audio, I think, there, Keith.
We're good. But anyway, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So that was a very special moment just because I had worked so hard for so many years and faced rejection after rejection after rejection, including the injury that I sustained to my left kidney, and was told by hospital personnel that I would never play sports again, and so just to have that moment, just that one extra point, and if that's the only one I ever kicked, then that was a dream come true for me personally. And then let's see, I would say the following week of the '96 season, I hit a 46-47 yarder against Southern Miss, and a good buddy of mine was the kicker for Southern Miss. His name was Johnny Lamoro, and he was absolutely fantastic kicker. But I hit that one pretty good, and we went on to win, went on to beat Southern Miss, and then of course Neyland Stadium in '96. Keith, you may remember we were up 13-0.
I was there. I remember very well.
Yeah, and it was 0-0 at halftime, or no, 0-0 with 19 seconds to go, and I kicked a 36-yard field goal with a horrific snap because of the rain. It wasn't the snapper's fault; it was just the rain.
Right.
And the ball bounced across the ground, and Lance Tucker, the holder, is one of our quarterbacks too. He was able to get the ball somehow and get it just as my leg was swinging. He was moving the ball up to try to get it in position, and I still don't know how he did it. But I had a similar instance like that happened in high school. And so as I was approaching the ball with 100,000 people screaming for me to miss it, I had a flashback in my head going back to high school. And I thought, well, I made it then, maybe I can make it now. And so I just really focused. I didn't hear any of the crowd yelling. Everything just went completely silent, I guess due to the concentration. And I knuckleballed the football through the goalpost, and we went up 3-0 at halftime. And
if I remember correctly, that happened right in the south end zone, where the big ball sign was at the top, right?
I think so.
Kind of where the students were.
I believe so.
That's where I was sitting. And I know in the first half, you had gotten one blocked, and Jeff Hall had missed.
I did.
So it was.
I did. I'll tell you.
That day.
I'll tell you a funny story about that, Keith, too, about that block. Leonard Little, I know you remember him. Fantastic player. He came through the line untouched and blocked the kick. Well, 10 years later, in 2006, I was at the game, and we had a similar thing happen right before halftime. Tennessee fumbled, Alabama recovered, except this time they go in and make the field goal. And I was sitting next to this guy named George. And halftime, and both teams run in the locker room, and George said, man, this reminds me of 10 years ago. He said, at least this time we made it. He said, because that sorry kicker missed it back then. And I said, well, actually, George, I said, they had an All-American named Leonard Little. His jersey number was number 1. He came through the line untouched on the right side, on Tennessee's left side, Alabama's right side, and he blocked the kick. I said, the sorry kicker didn't miss it. He said, how do you know? I said, because I kicked the ball.
That had to be, that guy probably felt about a micro milli.
Man, his eyes were so big, but I was like, hey,
he didn't question you?
No, he didn't question me after that. And I said, he said, oh man, I'm so sorry. I said, George, it's okay. It's not personal. I said, just these are the facts. I said, you just didn't understand the facts, and so I just wanted to educate you a little bit. But me and you were cool, man. So no hard feelings. And so, but anyway, that was special to me too, because I've gone back and done a lot of ancestry research, and I found out that my 5th great grandfather Cunningham actually settled in Knoxville and was one of the first people elected to the city, either the city council or the county council. I'm not sure, but he owned a lot of land there in Knoxville. Was a pretty big time player, and I had no idea. And so I just thought that was really cool. I ended up finding his grave and going there, and right off James White Parkway, right off the Tennessee River.
Oh,
I do. So that was a very special moment for me. And my understanding, there's a lot of Cunninghams there in around the Knoxville area anyway. But anyway, so that was a memorable moment. Another moment was, we were playing Kentucky in '97, and that's when they had Tim Couch, and they had a pretty prolific offense. I mean, Couch was fantastic, and it was a night game, and we were down by 3 points, and I was sitting out there with 20 seconds to go, and the clock was ticking, and it was from 37 yards out, and I remember my heart was beating so hard, man. I was absolutely horrified, and the fans were going absolutely insane. And if I make it, we go into overtime, and of course, if I miss it, Kentucky wins. And they had a couple of fans just trying to rip me to shreds. Every opportunity they had, I think they probably had quite a bit of alcohol. And but anyway, to make a long story short, I made the kick, and I look up at the ball sailing through the goalpost, and thank God for me, it went through. But I saw that clock ticking down as the ball was going through, and that was such a big relief for me. But unfortunately, we lost in overtime.
That had to
Fans
be
stormed the
the
field.
last loss, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be like probably the last time you guys have lost to Kentucky?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. That was the first time since I think the 1920s that Alabama had lost to Kentucky, I think. And but yeah, so that was pretty memorable. Oh, and I will say this about the Tennessee game in '96. Even though Tennessee won, Coach Stallings talked about how proud he was of the team that day, of how well they had played, and that was a very memorable moment too, because of course, of Peyton, just the great team that Tennessee had there in '96. It was a big honor to get to to play against them. Probably my most memorable moment came against Vanderbilt in '97, and I hit a 48 and a 46 yarder, and that was on a Thursday night game. It was in Nashville, and that was 48 was the longest of my career, and I hit that one pretty good. Coach had told me that he thought it probably could have gone for about 57, 58, because it was still at the top of the goalpost from 48 yards out, and that was a really special moment for me. And my grandparents got to come to the game. My grandfather was still living at the time, and World War II veteran, and I wanted to make him proud, and so I was able to give him. Well, it wasn't the game ball from that game, but I was able to give him the game ball from the Tennessee game in '97 that we played, and absolutely got obliterated there at Legion Field in Birmingham. But
I was there for that one too.
We went up. I got a couple of field goals in. We were up 6-0, and then it was over.
Then the floodgates opened.
Man,
got a lot of people asking about Gene Stallings, and we'll get to him here in just a minute. I mean, obviously Stallings was a great guy, great coach, and all that. I want to know, when how many times, well, not so much how many times, when you go out there on the field and the opposing coach tries to ice you, does that really work? Does that get in your guys' head?
I'm sure it does for some people, but I do not think it's very wise at all to try to ice a kicker. I mean, I really don't. And here's the reason. Here's the reason why. And I had in high school and college, it was tried against me, and to me it gave me more time to concentrate. And so you'll hear a lot of times, you'll even see YouTube videos comparing field goal kicking to golf. And so if we think about it from a golf standpoint, you watch the Masters golf tournament on television, you don't see the professional golfers just walk up to the tee, and stand there for at least for a split second, swing the club and swing it. I mean, they take their time. They really focus on what they're doing. They take a couple of practice swings here or there. And so when a coach calls a timeout, you're giving the kicker, if he's smart, the kicker will run through his steps, take time, swing his leg, get lined up, visualize himself making the kick, because the visual part is, in thinking about making it, is just as important as going through the mechanics and so forth. So I really do not think it's a very wise move for coaches to try to ice kickers. You just give them that much more time to focus and concentrate, line up, picture themselves making it, and because that's going to give them a greater chance of actually making it. So I see this happen all the time, like, and of course sometimes, it works in their favor, but most of the time I've seen it on television, and then, through my own experience and so forth, I just do not think it's a very wise move. And just let them go out there, let the pressure be on them, try to rush through it without thinking about it. And I think that that's what I would do if I were a head coach. Just let him kick it.
It'd be nice if there was some kind of statistic on that. With all the statistics they have in football now, I'm actually kind of surprised they don't have a statistic on whether or not you see a lot of times now that coaches they're standing there by the refs and they wait to the very last second to call the timeout, and almost every time it seems like when they make the kick or go through the kick, they miss it, and then when they come back after being iced, they make it. Seems like I've seen more happen like that than the other way around. So I've always wondered and wanted to get the answer from a kicker. I gotta ask.
Sure.
I gotta ask because somebody was being a smart ass on me earlier. We've got a long snapper that got a scholarship at Tennessee this year, and he's a friend of mine. He plays here at Greenville High School. So these guys have been giving me a lot of crap all off season about this. Explain to these nimrods the importance of a long snapper.
Oh, well, long snapper is, is absolutely pivotal. A long snapper needs to have that. I mean, the entire kick needs to be take place pretty quickly, and so a long snapper is absolutely pivotal because they need to get the ball back there very quickly, and also with aim for the holder that has the hand out there like that, they need to try to hit that target every single time, because if it's high or if it's low or if it's to the side, now that's going to mess up the timing up. And so there's a much greater chance of the kicker missing it at that point, and if the snap is bad. So
do you remember you remember your long snapper's name?
I do. His name at Alabama's name is Chester Lewis, and he's some kind of barbecue champion now of somewhere. He makes some pretty good barbecue. I've never had it, but he's won a lot of awards for it, and he's doing pretty good for himself, Keith. He's a good fella though, really good fella.
Well, usually these guys have to be pretty good athletes too. You don't see a lot of long snappers out there that are the typical hogs. You know, I know most of the crap this guy gives me. He's just giving me crap. But his big deal is Tennessee gave him a scholarship, a full scholarship, and he was only a 2-star. But I don't think there's ever been such a thing as a 5-star long snapper. You're just not going to see that. But it's something you have to have on the team. And his argument's always been, oh, anybody can long snap. That is so not true. So there you go, Billy. Sit down and shut up. We've heard it from someone that had to deal with long snappers, so you can take your seat now.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So you talked a little bit about best game, worst game, that kind of stuff. And in his book, he said the most intimidating place he'd ever been in his life was Neyland Stadium. Aside from Neyland Stadium, where was the next? Like somewhere you would never want to try to kick a field goal again because it was intimidating.
I was really surprised at how loud Arkansas was. Arkansas was 1 second. Yes. Okay, well, go find it, but I don't have one right now, okay? Sorry about that. Go ask mommy. Arkansas was a very loud place. I was actually really surprised that the volume level rivaled Neyland Stadium. And but that was a pretty intimidating place itself. And of course, I was surprised at how intimidating Kentucky was. I mean, those fans really got into it, and I thought, being a basketball school, that they would not have that type of intensity. But the stadium's right there on the field. So like at Bryant-Denny, there's a sidewalk. There's space between the actual seats and the field, whereas there it's right on the field. And here's how the good Lord has a sense of humor. The worst place for me to play at was actually at NC State in Raleigh.
Wow.
And because the visiting team is their sideline is right next to the student section at NC State. and with
Actually,
the
you say it
alcohol
was
flowing.
open there too, I think.
Yeah, so with the alcohol flowing very freely, man, they ripped into us like there was no tomorrow. Shh, hang on, Daddy's on the phone, okay? Here, Daddy's on the phone. Go tell Mommy. Here. Keith. But
You good?
at NC State was the NC State, those kids were crazy. I mean, they were really crazy. And I told myself at the time, I said, I will never come to Raleigh again under any circumstances. And of course, I moved there for 9 years. So I think the good Lord has a pretty good sense of humor. But nevertheless, I ended up actually pulling for them after living there for quite a while, and met the head coach that they have a couple of years ago. Got to meet him, Dave Doran. Seemed like a really good man. Got to meet some of the assistants, just really good people.
Coach.
But do what now?
He was almost Tennessee's coach a couple of years ago.
Yes, he was. But I think Tennessee's got him a great head coach right now. I think he's really going to turn things around.
I got a question here from my buddy Jeff Webster. He's a sideline photographer out at Iowa and Iowa State, and I'm assuming this is a real question. He wants to ask if you ever met Coach Dude Hennessy.
I did one time. I just one time, and it was very, very brief. But yeah, because I grew up not just loving Alabama, I was a student of Alabama history, and so I would, as a kid, I would memorize scores and try to memorize certain players and certain positions and so forth, and conference titles and the national titles that they claim to have won, and so that was a really big honor for me to meet Dude Hennessy. Yeah, I mean it really was. I can't remember what year it was or even the setting. So that was a big honor. Oh, another funny thing too, when we were playing Vanderbilt in '97, this was about 3 minutes to go in the game. George Lindsay approached me and came up and talked to me. It was Goober from the Andy Griffith Show.
Nah.
And of course I was pretty starstruck, and we were up 17-0, and I thought, well, the game's out of reach at this point. I could just chill, and here I am talking to Goober from the Andy Griffith Show.
There's a book for you.
You got that right. And so, and then all of a sudden they yelled out field goal team. And I wasn't even warm at this point. I'd just been chilling for a good 45 minutes. But thankfully made that kick, even though it wouldn't have made a difference in the game. But I just remember saying, sorry, Goober, I said I got to go. And but yeah, so that was a really memorable moment too. So it's kind of a funny story.
I'm not Jordan in the comments. I'm not sure about the answer to that one. But I got another question here. Let's see, where'd it go?
Okay.
My buddy Dwayne RTR, big Alabama fan, lives down in Georgia, wants to know your most. Let's see, where'd it go? Your most memorable game. I think you might have mentioned that earlier, but just again, real quick for him, in case he wasn't here, your most memorable game. Oh
yes, well. The most memorable game was the Vanderbilt game in '97, and not just because I got to talk to George Lindsay, but I happened to. It was my longest kick of my career. Is actually the best kick I made with the most distance behind it. I mean,
the
kickers,
49-yarder.
Like golf. Yeah. Jacob, you will get in very big trouble. Sorry, Keith. No hose. It's too cold.
Got 3 kids. I'm actually amazed that you've I know you've got your earphones in, but I'm amazed you've gone 30 minutes on here so far without having to display a little discipline.
Oh well, that's coming. Don't worry about that. But that was that. It was also it was really special for me because like I mentioned earlier, my grandparents got to come. My grandmother's still alive. She'll be 90 this year. And Daddy got new books for you. Go inside and look at new books. And, my grandfather, World War II veteran, lost him a year and a half ago. But he got to go there to the game, and they made the trip up from Birmingham to Nashville on a Thursday night, and that was really really special time.
I
And
imagine that was.
another funny thing that happened. So I got cut in the fall of '95, and I was I was encouraged by one man. His name was Gary Shores. He worked at the Bryant Museum. He did all the video archives back then, and he's the one that really encouraged me not to quit and give up. And so I did. So I remember I was in an indoor practice facility one day, kicking by myself, and I had the lights turned off, and I saw this like silhouette of a man standing in the entrance, and he was watching me kick, and I couldn't make out who he was. It looked like he had on a button. He had on a button-up shirt and slacks. I could tell that, and knew it wasn't any of the coaches, so I didn't know who that was. And so I'd had a pretty good day of practice that day, and was walking out of the indoor facility, and this man approaches me, and he asked me. He said, "Are you on the team?" And I said, "No." I said, "Coach is going to give me a chance in the spring of '96, and he's going to give me a shot." And then I started thinking. I thought to myself, I know this guy from somewhere. It's like I just couldn't picture it. And then all of a sudden I said, "Oh," I said, "You're Mike Gottfried. He used to do with Ron Jackson. Used to do the college football on Saturday nights." And he said, "Yeah, that's me." And he said, "Oh, stay right here." He said, "Hang on one second, Oliver, come on." Mommy's taking care of business.
Uh-oh.
And so
Mama getting ready to bring the hammer down.
Gonna drop the Alabama hammer on him. But yep, I got it. But he said, "Well, stay right here." He said, "Don't leave." He said, "I want you to stay here with me." He said, "The team's going to come up, and I want you to, and I want him to see you." I told him, I said, "Well, you don't have to do that." I called him Coach, and he said, "No, you stay here." He said, "You don't go anywhere." I thought, "Whoa, okay." And so sure enough, Coach comes out, and Mike Gottfried told Coach, he said, "Keep an eye on this guy." He said, "I think this might be your guy next year." And I thought, wow, what a big honor, what a big compliment.
What year was that?
So right before, that was November of '95. Is the week of the Alabama-Auburn game.
Okay.
In '95.
I had the privilege of meeting Mike Gottfried and Ron Franklin in '97.
Is that right? Yeah. Great guy. So we're sitting there in the 90. All that to say, we're sitting there at Vanderbilt Stadium in '97, and we're doing warm-ups and stretches and so forth. And I see Mike Gottfried walk onto the field because he's going to be calling the game that night. And he walks right up to me and he says, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Who are you?" I said, "Of course I remember you." I said, "You're like a hero to me, man." And I didn't say that to him, but that's just what I was thinking. And he's very humble and very nice. And he wasn't pompous or arrogant or anything. I mean, just a very humble, very nice, kind man. And but I'll never forget that moment. And then after my 48-yarder there late in about middle of the third quarter, he told the story of how he met me in the indoor practice facility when I was in there just kicking by myself and I wasn't even on the team. And so that was, so all of those things combined, that was by far my most memorable moment. So
quite a few questions kind of stacking up on me here in the comments.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I'll try to
see
shorten my answers. I kind of go on a little bit.
Thank you for the super chat, Wilkie. He asked how there's no way you can shorten this one up, so we'll kind of save this one. He wants to know, how can Alabama fix their kicking issues? Let's see. I'll give you a couple of these and let you kind of run through them if you can.
Okay.
So how can Alabama fix their kicking issues? Where was the next one? What's your opinion on the transfer portal and paying student athletes and then one more, and that'll give you plenty to sink your teeth into.
Oh man,
Best college football, best kicker in college football right now.
you know, I don't even know. I don't know who that is.
That's a tough one, Pigskin Pete. That's a tough question right there. Who's the best kicker in
Yeah,
college football?
that's a really tough one. I'm not.
We know it's not the Alabama kicker.
He's had some struggles.
Yeah.
Had a few struggles. I know the Clemson kicker did quite well this year. I honestly can't remember.
I mean, off the top of my head, Brian, I would say the kid from Georgia. I know he's done now.
Oh yeah, Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, he's great. Oh, is he done? I thought he was coming back.
I'm not positive. I'm really not. I'm sure some of my Georgia buddies in here can answer whether or not he's done. He was done in the South Carolina game. I know that, but that kid was awesome.
Yeah.
Man. He
was great.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch. I loved watching him. I mean, when he hit that, I think it was a 55-yarder against Oklahoma in that playoff game, I thought to myself, this kid's he is something special.
Bryant Denny really Stadium in the comments says Brian is better than the Tennessee 09 kicker. I can bet you money on that one, Bryant Denny. He's talking about Jeremy Lincoln, guy that got blocked twice by Cody.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the other question was what can Bama do to fix their kicking issues now, and what your thoughts on the transfer portal and whether or not college football players should get paid. There's no short answer to that, but do your best to give your thoughts on that one.
Man, I really have not. I haven't really thought. I like to sit down and think about things. Like my wife will ask me questions and I don't give an immediate answer, and so and I know that's frustrating for her, but I like to process things, and so. This is one of the things like I really haven't examined both sides of the issue, and I'm not trying to play politician here, but I haven't really sat down and thought just a whole lot about it. Now, giving my opinion, I'll give you my opinion off the top of my head, and I'll share with you what I think. Just initially, with the transfer portal, I understand like there needs to be commitment to the team. I get that. At the same time, though, I think that if a player is really wanting to play, and that player knows he's not going to get into the game, except maybe in in some kind of blowout or something. If he's really wanting to play, then I think being allowed to transfer is probably is a good thing. I think it's a good thing because you only get one shot, and some people are content not playing. Some people maybe they grew up a Tennessee fan their whole life, and being on the Tennessee team is more important than getting actual playing time.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with having that mentality. And I understand what that's like. At the same time, if a young guy's wanting to really play and wanting to really contribute, then I think the kid should be given a chance to. I think he should be given a chance to play. I really do. I look at Jalen Hurts, and I saw the improvement that he made. In just a short amount of time. I mean, he dramatically improved in his passing ability and overall game management and so forth. And he went on to have a really fantastic season at Oklahoma. And I wonder if had that portal not been available, he may not have been given that opportunity. And so now, from what I understand, he had a really good pro day in the combines there, and really showed a lot of stuff and really impressed a lot of people. That probably doesn't happen if if he's not allowed to he's not allowed to transfer. And I know he loved Alabama, still loves Alabama, but he wanted to play. And so I say, if that's the case, then give the kid a chance to play. That's my opinion. As far as paying is concerned, I understand. Again, not really having thought about it quite a lot. I can understand that some schools obviously generate a lot more money than other schools. Tennessee and Alabama, SEC schools, they're going to generate a whole lot more money than than other schools that belong to other conferences, whose fans are not just die hard and they bleed the color of their school. So I can see where that would, that could be an advantage to to some teams that are that are bigger schools and have more resources. I never received an athletic scholarship, and one reason we were on probation. And kickers are always the last to get scholarships. But I never received a scholarship, and I know for myself, it would have, maybe a little help. I mean, I would guess if if you're a part of something and you're contributing to something in a meaningful way, and that something is generating, millions upon millions of dollars, then my initial thought on that would be there's nothing wrong with helping a kid out that's not able to, or on average is not able to go and generate income of their own. But that's a really touchy subject, and I'm not sold. I'm not sold one way or the other. And I haven't really thought about it. I mean, having a 5'3" and 1-year-old has really limited me as far as really investigating, very delicate issues, and things like that. And so, but I can understand. I understand, and I can see both sides of the issue right there. And I really can.
That one of the questions I was going to ask you, but having 3 youngins like that kind of answers it. How much time do you get to watch football nowadays? Are you an NFL fan? Do you have a favorite NFL team? Obviously, we know who your favorite college team is. Aside from Tennessee, of course, it would be Alabama. But no, seriously, do you get a lot of time? Do you make time to watch? And have you taken the family back to Tuscaloosa, maybe for an A-Day game or something?
Well, I have. With the pros, I don't really get the opportunity to watch a lot of pro football. I do ministry work at a church, here in Mississippi now, and so Sundays are pretty busy for me, so I don't really get to watch a lot of pro football. But I do get to watch quite a bit of college football.
That's good.
And my wife, she's from Scotland. And so she grew up not knowing anything about, American football or anything, but now she's really into it, and she really wants to see,
nice.
Who's playing, and even if it's not, her team, if there's a really big game on, like, she really wants to watch it.
And wait a minute. You said if it's not her team, so
yeah,
one can only assume she's a Bama fan, right?
Correct, Keith. Okay. Correct.
Right. Just making sure.
Yeah, but she absolutely loves the game now, and because we lived in Raleigh, that was for so many years. That was a really long drive.
Sure.
And so, but I was able to take them, my kids, and we went to the Alabama Ole Miss game this year in Tuscaloosa, and the 3 and 1-year-old, they were done by halftime. So unfortunately, we had to leave. The 5-year-old, he couldn't get enough of it. I mean, he was standing the whole time cheering, even during timeouts. He was going nuts. And so
that's cool.
So he absolutely loved it. we got to sit in the shade, so it wasn't too hot or anything. And but it was a great experience. But we could only stay for a half just because the kids were absolutely exhausted. But it was definitely worth it. And I was planning on taking him to the A-Day game this year, but of course, with all the coronavirus stuff, it's just not going to happen.
Well, I decided a long time ago before we started this tonight, I wasn't going to bring anything up about that because, everybody has talked ad nauseum.
Sure.
So there's no point in getting to that. I know you told me originally you only had about 30 minutes and we're closing in on an hour here, but a couple of.
That's fine. No, come on. It's all good.
Rapid fire questions, quick answer questions. And you guys in the comments, if you can come up with a few quick one-word answer questions for Brian before I let him go, that would help. But I want to start with, and we don't have to use the word hate, but aside from Auburn, most hated college football team, we'll just throw it out there.
Oh, for myself?
Yeah.
I don't know, Keith. Sorry to disappoint.
You have some team that just sticks in your craw every time you think about them. So, or would Auburn be that team?
Well, I got a lot of good friends that
come on, Brian, take a stand.
Yeah.
Here. Take a stand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got a lot of respect for the Auburn program. I'd say the little kid that still lives inside of me, pulls for Alabama and pulls for any team that plays Auburn.
Fair enough.
So that would, but I guess that's just how it goes. I've met a few Auburn players over the years, and some really good guys. Met Pat Sullivan's son back in February, a couple of months ago in Birmingham, and couldn't have met a nicer person. So, and a wide receiver they had named Dale Overton. He was a great wide receiver for Auburn. And I was sitting there talking to these guys. I was like, it's really kind of hard to hate you guys.
Right.
But
as long as there's a healthy respect, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So I guess
rivalry's the same way.
Yeah. So it's I'm trying. It was NC State for a number of years too while I lived there. I couldn't stand NC State. In fact, I remember in 2008 they played Rutgers in the PapaJohns.com bowl game in Birmingham, and I got a ticket and purposely sat in the Rutgers section. Just for the sole purpose of pulling against NC State. And that's when they had Russell Wilson as their quarterback. And Rutgers ended up winning to my delight. But then after moving to Raleigh and getting to know some really diehard NC State fans and becoming lifelong friends with some of them, just couldn't hate them anymore like I once did. But I don't know. I don't know, Keith. I don't know who just really gets on my nerves anymore.
I'm gonna go with Auburn, and we'll just leave it at that. Since
we'll leave it. Yeah, that sounds good.
What's the who's the meanest guy you ever played with in your? I think 2 years there at Bama. Who was the meanest guy on that team? Not necessarily towards you, just a guy that if you were an opposing team, you wouldn't want to get in a scrap with this guy.
Oh man. Well, I can't think of anyone that had like a terrible, like a mean attitude, like it was gonna, ready to fight you at the drop of a hat or anything like that. Trying to think who was the.
Anybody ever get up in your grill, as they like to say these days, when you were, say, if you missed a kick and came back to the sidelines? Anybody ever let you know that they were happy?
Keith, nobody did that. None of my teammates ever did that. They were always very encouraging, and that never happened.
Actually. You probably never seen it, but I showed this in the stream last week. We I forget the year. I think it was 91 or 93, something like that. Tennessee and Auburn were, deadlocked in a game down at Jordan-Hare, and we had a chance to win it on close to the last play of the game on a field goal, and Greg Burke missed it. And when he came back to the sideline, you can see it plain as day that the TV camera was following him. One of the Tennessee players took a cup and just threw it, beamed him right in the head. So,
yeah, I remember that.
Obviously,
I remember
you
that
never had
kick.
nothing like that happen, right?
No, never had anything like that happen. But thankfully, I never had a kick that that came down to the last second where I missed it. In fact, I only had one of those opportunities, and that was against Kentucky in '97. Of course, we got beat. We were driving down the field against Tennessee in '96, and I was warming up, getting ready to kick the go-ahead field goal to put us up 16-13. But there was an interception by, I think it was Terry Fair, number 13.
Yep.
Man,
Fair player.
yeah. I think we threw an interception then, and
You guys, you never
go
beat
ahead.
Tennessee, right?
No, I never beat them. No, I never beat them. Never beat them.
Somebody wanted me to ask you earlier if you'd ever smoked a cigar after a Tennessee win. I didn't want to ask you that. I gave him the answer.
Oh no, it's fine. No, actually, I never have.
You've smoked plenty. I'm assuming, as a fan and as a former player, you guys have had 13 chances in a row to smoke one. So,
well, I think it was just one, to believe it or not, Keith. That was 2008.
Yeah, that was pretty sure that was not the streak ender, but there's actually a few games there where we kind of went back and forth before you guys got on this big streak.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see that happen, by the way. Never. I never thought I'd see either Alabama or Tennessee win that many in a row against the other. Never did.
You guys went for 11, I think, twice in the series.
Yeah.
But I didn't either. I mean, of course, I knew when we got to 11 this time around that it was going to be broken, and we just haven't had the horses to stay with you guys lately. Of course, nobody has. This year, provided, of course, we have a regular season, who you got in the championship game? Alabama. And
oh, wow.
Alabama
and Clemson.
That's the favorite for everybody. But who does Brian have?
That's usually a safe bet. I don't know. I think Ohio State has a good chance to come back. They still have that hotshot quarterback, Justin Fields.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you could definitely see Ohio State in the championship game, and I know Clemson still has some horses left, and
I see
they could make. Yeah, they could. I could see them back in it again. I mean, Sweeney's got just a machine going on in that place. And of course, now if Tua were still at Alabama, I could probably put them in there. And I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I really do.
There's a good question. Yep. Who's gonna start game one for Bama this year?
My guess is Mac Jones, based on seniority. I think he'll start. And I know there was talk about Tua's brother transferring. I haven't heard anything about that. Haven't kept up with it. And I can't remember the name of this 5-star kid they had come out of California. I can't remember his name.
In the comments will help us. I know we got a few pretty smart ones down there. I want to. Starts with a B, I think. Bryson something maybe.
Yeah.
Rollins maybe.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah. So Bryce Young. Yeah. I'm reading the comments, and I do agree with one commenter who said that Mac Jones deserves more credit. I do agree with that. I thought he played like an absolute warrior against Auburn. I mean, to come in there under that kind of pressure and in the most hostile environment imaginable for a young kid like that, and I thought he played great. I really did. And so I think your commenter there hit the nail on the head. I think he'll get the nod, and I think he should get the nod going into the season, barring some kind of injury or something happening. But that's my thought, Keith.
I'll let you. We'll finish up with this one. Jeff's been on me to ask you this one. What did you get your degree in? I don't even know if that's something you want to answer or not, but and if you don't, that's understandable.
Oh, that's fine, Keith. That's fine. I don't. You can ask me anything you want to, brother. My degree was in business. It was in marketing. But now I've gone back to school with theology now, and so that's what I'm doing. I don't really remember a whole lot of my marketing degree, and yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure if you could see the comments or not. Thank you again, Wilkie. He wants to know, do you ever go back to Tuscaloosa to tour and see how the facilities have changed? And do you put Bama kicker on your resume? Why wouldn't you? I mean,
oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. And honestly, to be honest, I don't like drawing attention to myself. Like I really don't. And I'm uncomfortable with that to a degree. And but at the same time, if there's something that's like with trying to get jobs and things like that, yeah, I've put it on there because you have to have something to make yourself stand out. And I remember applying for a job back in 2001. Can you believe that's been 19 years ago? And I remember and then of course this is internet wasn't quite as big as it is now, of course. And I remember the manager that ended up hiring me told me that he had 85 resumes, and I was one of 85 chosen. And I'm sure that probably had a little something to do with it. How much? I don't know, but yeah. But if I can use it as an advantage, in a way that doesn't, that I'm not violating my conscience, or any kind of legal or ethical code or whatever you want to call it, yeah. I think it's okay to use it in that respect.
Brian, I knew I would have fun with you here tonight. And sorry we kept you.
Oh, definitely, Keith.
We have to get you back on here sometime. Maybe once the season gets started, and get some more info from you, get your insight on some things. But if there's anything, I know you're a big Christian. I know this is a big weekend for you, of course. If there's anything you want to close out with tonight, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, it's a really big honor, Keith, for you to have me on your show, and I think I'm following Travis Stevens. Was a fantastic running back at Tennessee. I mean, as soon as you told me you had him on, I thought, oh yeah, that's definitely got to be him. And just to connect with you, from the restaurant in Raleigh, now to your show here, it's really a tremendous honor for me. And
I don't know about all that. I'm the one that should be, I'm the one that should be honored. I've done nothing,
Well, I don't know, Keith. I mean, I've spoken. Not to embarrass you at all, but I've used you as an example 2 different times at 2 different churches when I've spoken to them. About the good Lord working in your life. And honestly, I had so many people, mention my encounter with you afterwards and how encouraged they have been by your life. And so you just never know what's going to be happening from day to day, who you're going to meet, who you're going to come in contact with, who will influence your life, and then who you may have a chance to influence somebody else's life. And as much as I love the game, and I'm going to cheer for my team, as long as the day is, and I'm going to love it. But I'm not going to dwell on it if they lose. It's not the worst thing to happen, and it's not the greatest thing to happen if they win national championship or whatever. But honestly, making the connections with people, having fun with football, but making the connections with people and really investing in them and developing solid relationships and so forth. That's what it's all about. And so that's why I'm so thankful, Keith, that you and I have connected. And even though we had some time goes here and there, maybe a year that we don't talk or whatever, but that connection's always still there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so that's really, to me, that's really what it's all about.
And it goes so far beyond college football. I mean, obviously, college football is. I would have never heard of Brian Cunningham if not for college football, obviously, and that's a lot of our first love. But when you get right down to it, there's so many things far more important than college football. And I told these guys, I've been talking about having you on here for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I told these guys that they were going to love you. And it's looking
Yeah.
like by the comments I was right.
Well,
let's see. Thank you.
I definitely don't want to put anybody to sleep. And I'll share this too, right quick before I leave, Keith.
Okay.
Being Easter Sunday and so forth. But to me, this weekend is all about hope and about new beginnings and so forth. And I mentioned my grandfather that I gave him the Tennessee game ball there in '97, and I lost him December of 2018. He was 96 years old and died the same day George Washington died. So it was a great man seemed to pass on that day. But I remember, being quite devastated about losing him. And after the funeral was over, a few of the family members and I were standing in the graveyard. They had already lowered the casket and covered up everything. So we were just standing out there, not really saying anything. And then out of nowhere, a white dove comes and circles over my grandfather's grave above our head, circles one time and then flies off. And so I remember thinking back, in the Bible where the dove symbolizes a new beginning. So with Noah and the flood, he sent the dove out to get the olive branch. And of course, the Bible tells us when Jesus was baptized, the Holy Spirit descended upon him in the form of a dove, and that's when that inaugurated his ministry. And also, when I got home from the funeral, I started looking into it a little bit more. And overseas in the catacombs where the early Christians were buried and they were persecuted and so forth, they would actually inscribe doves on their tombs because they believed that was symbolized new beginning. And so for anybody that's out there that may be that's listening, that may be going through a really difficult time, it's not going to be it's not always instantaneous. You just snap your fingers and everything completely goes away. But if anything else, just this weekend offers an opportunity. There's something out there that's greater for you to grab onto, that that can change your life and give you a new perspective, a new world view, and in essence, a new beginning to fill your life with joy and give ultimate purpose and ultimate meaning in life. Even though we still enjoy our college football, it doesn't mean we can't enjoy it. And but it just takes on a complete new meaning. It can do that for you. So that's my encouragement to those listening that may be really struggling right now. It's not abracadabra, hocus pocus, but it is something to hold on to that can profoundly, impact your life.
Well, I appreciate that, Brian, and I know my good folks here in the comments that watch this appreciate it too. I'll leave you with this, buddy, before I let you go. As a as an Alabama graduate fan, player, all that, I always have respect for the Alabama players and the fans and everything. It's just been a great storied rivalry over the years. But as a human, love you, man. Love everything you're doing for your kids, for your family, and for all the people around you. Keep doing great work, Brian, and we'll keep you. We'll definitely keep you in our thoughts for sure as we waddle our way through this mess that we're all going through right now. Thank you so much. Love you, man. And I'll be in touch.
Love you too, brother.
Have you back.
Yeah. Right. Let's do that. Let's do it again. All right.
All right, Brian. You have a great night. Tell the family I said hello.
Will do, Keith. All right. Take care, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. There you go. That was Brian Cunningham. I told you he was an awesome guy. I know a lot of the people in here, made fun of the fact, oh, you're going to have a kicker on there, but he's so much more than just a former college football kicker. He's just a great, great dude. Raising a great family, doing a lot of great things for his ministry. And whether you're a believer or not, in God, Jesus, the Bible, and all that, and we're not going to get into that, of course. Whether you believe in that or not, you have to believe in good people, right? I mean, we have to have faith that there's lots of good people still out there, and he is one of them. So thank you guys. I don't get I watched you guys comment on that. I don't get the thumbs down crap either. All I can say is it just must be trolls doing their work or whatever. But hey, it just means a lot of people were watching, and I appreciate that. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll get somebody else on here soon, sometime, somehow, some way, because I enjoy doing these. We learn a lot about these guys. Questions that maybe a lot of us, as we're watching our quote unquote heroes, if you want to call them that, on TV play football, we wonder about all these questions and never get to ask them. So hopefully somebody tonight learned something about being a kicker in a pressure situation you always wondered, never knew. So, yeah, we sure can, General. We sure can. Appreciate you, BW. Yeah, we had a few douchebags in the comments tonight. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Bryant Denny, nothing personal there, buddy. I just had to sit you down for a minute. You were kind of getting out of hand. So what do you guys have on tap for your Easter weekend this weekend? We know there won't be any huge Easter egg hunts for the kids. That's kind of sad. Apparently there will be no large mass gatherings in churches. As far as your sunrise services, appreciate it, Pete. As far as your sunrise services on Sunday, who knows how that'll go. Doesn't mean you can't get up and do your own thing, right? I mean, I think isn't this supposed to be a personal relationship anyway? So work on your own garden before you start hoeing around in somebody else's. That's what I used to always say. I need to bring that one back. I guess nothing wrong with that either, Veltro, if you got it like that. Blue eggs only. I'm not sure the meaning of that, but I'm sure there's some kind of meaning to that. But for all the ones in here that were adults during the interview, I appreciate it. I couldn't remember if you could see the comments or not on StreamYard as doing it on his phone. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. No need to go to Lowe's, Joe Ryder. Not right now, anyway. I definitely owe, Snake. I think we all owe, don't we? I think we're supposed to get some really nasty weather Sunday, especially like down in Alabama. It being April, wasn't it April when the tornadoes came through? Back in 2000, what year was that? 10, maybe 9, 10. Jeff, I don't even know how to recreate these hats. This is just something I did with a paint marker and a Sharpie. There's no way I could duplicate this. I don't think that would be much of a problem, Bryant Denny. I'm sure he would come on. April 27th. There you go. Couldn't remember the date, Megan. I just remember sitting in, what the hell was the name of that website? Blog TV. Remember sitting in Blog TV with Loopy for Bama as she went through, Tuscaloosa went through the tornadoes. And then we watched the news and listened to them come all the way up like that until they got up here to Greenville. And so that was definitely a memorable night to sit there for hours and hours and hours with a buddy from another state and listen and watch as tornadoes came through and, could have potentially taken either one of us out. That was a strange, scary, but very memorable night. Why would I want to get Sleeta or LSU Dad on here, Bryant Denny, honestly? I mean, TJ LSU Dad has nothing I'm interested in hearing, to be honest with you, at this point. Back when he first started, would love to have talked to him and picked his brain on some football and stuff, but no interest whatsoever now. Oh, I bet it was, Megan. Oh, and Shane, thank you. I didn't forget you. I appreciate the super chat. I said, evening, BBD and my fellow college football fans. It looks like the season may have a chance to start. How amazing that would be. That's right. Y'all have a good night and cheers to the return of sports. That would be all of our tops on all of our wish lists. I'm losing my damn voice for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, Pigskin Pete, you blew it, buddy. You blew it, son. You could have been a member of the Sleeta squad. Jeez, man. 20 or 30 years from now, Pete, you're going to look back on that day and say, what the hell was I thinking? That would be awesome, Hoss. I got Jeremy Pruitt right here. See the eyebrow? RJ Young's too important, too popular, and too proud of himself and fond of himself to come on a measly little stream like BBD. Check it. Check my phone. Yeah, I checked it. Let's see. I knew I heard this thing beeping. Thought I had it turned down. I will, Pete. Oh, yeah, Carter. I still got a few minutes left. Hang on, let's see. Let me hit you up. Not gonna lie, dude. I forgot all about you. Got involved talking to Brian there. Kids got some lungs, Brian. If you're still watching, those kiddies got some lungs, my man. No, I don't want to share the damn screen. I want to invite. Okay. Three kids now. Man, can you guys, well, some of you know what it's like. You don't have to imagine having three young kids. My one drove me up the wall most of the time. But she was well behaved when me and her went out in public together. She behaved pretty well. Speaking of my kids, I think one of my youngins might be joining me here for the last few minutes of this stream. There you go. Hang on just a second here. I don't think Brian realizes it, but he's still going back there. He might still be watching. Oh, I'm not kicking Kicking anybody from the studio. I sent you the link, Carter. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I think it was Bryant Denny that asked the question about, has Brian ever smoked a cigar while smoking Tennessee? I can just hear his little young hind end thinking, boy, I'm going to really get BVD with this watch is. I'm going to really get him. Yeah, you got me. Speaking of children, there's my eldest. How's it going, Mr. Carter?
It's going pretty good, man. How's it going over there in Green Vegas?
Doing well. Kind of chilly today. Did you watch all of the talk with Brian?
I missed part of the beginning, but yeah, I seen most of it. It was really good.
Yep. Good interview. Good dude.
Sounds like he's got a house full of kids.
Yeah. What's going on over there in West Tennessee tonight?
Same old thing, man. Ain't nothing going on here. Even without a pandemic, it's nothing going on.
Without a pandemic? Is that what that was a...
Yeah. Even without a pandemic, there's nothing going on here.
Oh, okay, I got you. Looks like you need Cattle Dog to come work on your ceiling there. You know, Cattle Dog's Mr. Fix-It of everything. You probably didn't see his video. There you go.
I've seen plenty.
Seen plenty what?
I've seen plenty of Cattle Dog videos where he's doing plaster or whatever the heck he does.
Yeah. He lined me up real quick. I told him in one of his videos, get back to spackling. And haven't seen Gate City Blue Devil tonight. I wonder what's up with him. Got 36 dislikes tonight, Carter.
Good God. What'd you do, man?
I don't know. I thought it was great. The thumbs up made an amazing comeback, and they're winning 45-36 right now. So the good guys always win in the end.
Yeah, two possession lead. Yeah, you're all right.
It was good. It was ugly there for a while.
That's crazy. I don't know where all the hate's coming from.
I think I missed a super chat. Christopher Rattlehead Duncan, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Y'all be safe this weekend up in Dixie Alley. Could be a rough one. That's a fact, sir. Appreciate that. I don't think I missed any more. Make sure I didn't miss any. I don't see Celine in here tonight, so he won't be jumping me.
You're right, General. He does think 9/11 was an inside job.
A lot of people do. He even mentioned that in a recent video. One he addressed, I guess him and Augusta Gator have had a little dialogue.
Yeah, over the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen that. I
can't give you Glitter. I can't give you your stinger tonight. I'm not on OBS. I can give you one of those though. Is that good enough? Hoss, I was wrong.
I'm already here, bro.
Yeah, there you go. He's already there.
You want to see her car? Since everybody was thinking I was full of shit.
I don't know if nobody was saying you were full of shit, were they?
I don't know.
I had a little something ready for you in the event that you were pulling my leg. But what color is that? Is that brown or is it is it black?
Black.
Okay. I got no problem with Cattle Dog. And I mean, I don't agree with some of his theories, but I'm sure he don't agree with everything I say either. So I've never met a human in my life I agreed with everything they said. Except for General Robert Reese Nealon. He was about the closest thing to perfection.
Well, Keith, I'm going to hop off here. I only want to come on for just a minute, all right?
Okay. Well, I guess mission accomplished.
Yeah, I'll see you Sunday night, okay?
All right, bud.
See you guys.
See you. I guess that's in the world of other things what you would call a quickie. Not the kind of quickie I'm interested in, but it is what it is. Came on the floss. Yes, BDS, this is StreamYard. Let's see. Wonder where to lose at tonight. I saw him in here earlier, I thought. Can definitely understand that if you're watching AR. Definitely understandable. I think we're going to have a football season, though. It was a text from someone saying that they're out of work now and probably won't be able to afford to go to Norman this year, and I totally get it. This thing's putting a hurting on a lot of people. A lot of people's lives going to be changed forever. What's my favorite Disney movie? Interesting question. It's the Lion King's a Disney movie, isn't it? That's a tough question. Well, I mean, I'm really not even sure what all you're talking about, Brian Denny. The only comment, I noticed a couple of comments way back up in the stream, and I was like, you know what? Since Brian's in here, I'm just going to stop it before it gets out of hand. So you're good. I'm well aware that the general's a little turd. How about Finding Nemo? Damn, I got hiccups now. Is Finding Nemo a Disney movie? Man, there's a ton of Disney movies. And there's Disney movies out there now that aren't even animated or children's type movies. Disney's all over the place. Frozen. I actually have not seen Frozen, Snake, to be honest with you. I wonder if that movie, what's the movie with the talking sausage? Sausage Story or Sausage something. The hell was that movie? I watched that on the truck with Catfish, who I haven't talked to in over a week now, by the way. Watched that movie on the truck with my earbuds in and was dying laughing. He's like, man, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you watching over there? What was that movie about sausages? The talking sausages where they went into the grocery store. Sausage Party. That's it. That's it, Snake. I'm sad, guys. It's Good Friday, and I shouldn't be sad, but I'm really heartbroken tonight. Heartbroken, sad, and downtrodden. I've only got 3 episodes of Ozark left. Does anybody know if this was the final season? Pete, you've seen the whole thing. Is this the final season of Ozark or just the end of this season? Have you seen it, Christy? Have you seen Sausage Party? Yeah, it didn't take long, did it, Rubber Nose? Oh, okay, good. So I don't have to be sad. I can just be like temporarily disheartened. Somebody said that there was I think Lou said this morning there's another episode of the Lion King, Tiger King supposed to be coming out Sunday. I hope they weren't just trolling me. Actually, Christopher, I don't know that I made it to the end of Sausage Party. The movie was great to start out. But then it just kind of, Christy, you got to see it. I mean, it's freaking hilarious. Definitely not gay porn, Jeff. It's a cartoon, and it's they're in this grocery store, and the food talks, and all the food wants to get out of the grocery store and get to, I think, what they call it, the great beyond. which is whatever's outside the door. It's freaking hilarious, man. I know, right? All right, this is your last night to have fun with the long snapping shit, Billy. From now on, every time you say the word long snapper, I'm timing you out. That's 2 words, isn't it? Long snapper. So if you say the 2 words, long snapper. Now you can say them separately any way you want to, but if the 2 words go together, long and snapper, I'm timing you out. You need a timeout, old man. It's probably been a long time since you had it. You have no idea, Jeff. You've only been coming around here for a few months. This shit's been going on for, Jesus, since last year. I think I did, Ballard. I think I did. Isn't that where he keeps going over on tours of duty and sniping some people up and then coming back home? Oh, I'm sorry. I did see that. I don't really have one, Snake. I'm not into the whole superhero thing, but if I was, probably, and I know this would be superhero sacrilege, but a toss-up between Superman and Batman. Obviously, Superman kicked Batman's ass, but Batman has a cooler logo. Yeah, that wouldn't get me a copyright strike, would it, Joe? Jeff definitely has a lot of opinions. That's a fact. I didn't do it, Luke, but if this helps you, we don't want Luke to be jealous of the general. Who did do that? Who did time the general out? Now we'll have to wait for Yang Zhang Wu or whatever to come in. You ever see? No, we won't win. What is that? Well, there's not another Jeff in here, Jeff. I haven't seen any other Jeffs. My rapid fire session didn't work out too good tonight either. I like to kind of oh, that's right. You timed him out. I got no problem with that, Jeff. General always needs a good timeout every now and then. What is it? We won't win. I'll look it up. We won't win. What is that? A documentary about South Carolina football? I can't. I'd play that for you, NASCAR, but I can't. I'm not on OBS. I would. I'd love to, Joe, but I doubt he would come on here. He might. He might be contractually unable to come on here and do that. But I mean, I could always ask him. All he can do is say no. Right? That is a fact. All right. If you guys don't have any more pressing issues or urgent matters, I don't see any better time than the present to shut this puppy down on Good Friday and cook some supper. I don't. Let's see. Okay, Brian finally left the backstage area. If you happen to still be watching, Brian, thank you again for coming on. We'll get you back on here during football season once we got some action going. What would be whose show? NASCAR ball. Eric Ainges? Lizard, there's a bunch of us that haven't had a sausage party in a while. Not been 10 years, but ain't been far from it. Been long enough now for me that Starting to wonder. Things fall off after a while, after a long while when they don't get used, do they? I hope not. Well, now, which is it, Pete? We won't win or we will lose? Got to have something to offer too, Slim. Currently, I don't feel like I have shit to offer a female. I mean, other than, obvious shit. But we will lose. It's definitely about South Carolina then. You will lose. Is Ivan Drago the host? Deltro, take care. Good to see you as always, buddy. Did Pete fire his channel? I didn't know Pete's channel was watered down. Can't be fired back up. Something can't be fired back up if it ain't been watered down. Half of the proceeds. What does that even mean? Have, you mean half of the proceeds? Oh. Well, General, you do get pretty fucking annoying sometimes. You got this thing about you where you won't shut the hell up about things. That is a character flaw, sir, young sir. Just not trying to degrade you or downgrade you. Just trying to give you a little bit of helpful information there. At some point, you got to stop talking and bragging about the same shit. Ain't that right, Billy Cole? By the way, next Friday, our guest, Billy Cole Jr. Just joking. And you're welcome to come on here next Friday, Billy, if you want to. But yeah, definitely not a good one, Slim. I agree. This is not me talking NASCAR. These are your, I would say peers, but to my knowledge, you're the only journalist in the comment section. These are the people that we correspond and associate with in the comment section saying this, not I. Thank you, Snake. Appreciate it. Lucas, been surviving. It's all you can do in this world, right? See there, Rubber Nose? The people are speaking. They want Billy. There's no way. There is no way on God's green earth or blue earth, whichever you want to call it, that we could get Billy Cole on here in a StreamYard for, say, minimum 30 minutes and the topic not come up. No way. Couldn't happen. Sure they do. There's plenty of people in this world that still journal every day. I used to journal every day, but I kind of gave it up because my handwriting sucks to start with. And now that I can imagine trying to write a several page whatever with fingers that you cannot feel. Like I can't feel this pen in my hand right now. It makes it really hard to write. We're gonna lose. Are we sure, Pete? Now that's the third name you've given us. Well, how about just drop a link in here? How about that? Drop me a link in here and I'll put it over in my favorites. Watch it later. Are you talking to me, BDS? Adam? No, Adam don't piss me off. Adam's a friend of mine. Take care, Kevin. Have a good weekend. You are a electronic journalist then, Luke. Fuck you, Celine. I'll give you an extra dose Sunday night. I might even have some new stingers. Got plenty of good stuff downloaded to use. I just haven't chopped it up and made the stingers yet. Yeah, that's right. There's all kinds of journalists. General photojournalist, 16-year-old journalist, wannabe journalist, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and the like journalist. Yeah, I don't even know what that comment means. No, he's about to be out the fucking door. Don't forget the people that helped build you up just because of your recent. Who is he even talking about? What are you even talking about, General? Ain't nobody in here had any recent success. Yeah, I'll need a little elaboration on that comment. Oh, there's the link. What the hell are you even talking about? Let me go back to this last comment. He's about to be out the fucking door. Okay, who's about to be out the fucking door? And then don't forget the people that helped build you up. Just because, what the fuck are you even talking about? Anybody know what he's talking about? Anybody know who has helped build me up here lately? I can think of one person. Oh, wait a minute. Where's the link? All right, there's the link. Favorites. Are they? I've got the volume down, Pete. I'm assuming that they're talking in these videos. Well, I guess appreciate everybody in here who. Oh, he must be talking about Sleeta. Thank you, Sleeta, for building me up. Hell, I don't know. Let me see. Well, all of you guys in here, I appreciate each and every one of you, and the other people that come in here. They do, Celine. They do. Fuck yous kind of help elevate my inner feelings about myself. Who said it had shit to do with catfish, Luke? That's the first word. You're the first person to mention catfish. Oh no, Hoss did. I'm sorry. No, I don't. Whatever. I don't even know what he means. Pigskin Pete's built me up on his channel. Thank you, Pete, for that. I appreciate it. Everybody go subscribe to Pigskin Pete. You could click on the damn dots on the right and go to everybody's channel in here if you wanted to. But thank you, YouTube. They screwed that up. Seriously, serious business, Luke. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. If you'd like to explain it, if you want to, okay. If not, that's cool too. Oh, I get it. Now he said it. People that have been watching your videos for years. I've been watching you since 2012. Don't forget about those people and treat them like shit. I never forget about the people that have been watching me for years. I always talk about those people, thanking them. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, treating you like shit. If you think I've treated you like shit tonight, apologies, I guess. I don't know. I guess we have a different view on what treating someone like shit means. And now, if joking about something that gets under someone's skin is treating them like shit, then yeah, I guess we both I guess we both treat each other like shit. Good song, Hoss. Bobby Durkins. What's old Bobby Durkins been doing? That's good. I have, Ballard. That's right. I've been treating you like crap all year long, too. I can continue if you want. I'm just a mean old YouTuber. I treat everybody bad. The Late Kick. I never heard of that one. Appreciate that, Ballard. Deep down inside, I want to. Jeff Webster. Future treater of badness on BVDTV. Don't forget to join and like and subscribe and stay tuned for the future bad treatingness. Yeah, I think we're going to have to hang on. I can leave you guys with this tonight. Why'd you time old Ballard out for there? What'd you kill Jesse for? What'd you kill Jesse for? Oh, I've got it. This is really going to probably get under his skin after he hears this a few thousand times. A stinger. Let's see. Coming soon to a BVDTV near you. The General Stinger. Hang on. Treated me kind, treated me kind. Ah, boy. Damn. The Jujus. Played me alone. Now I'm feeling so sad. Cause you treated me bad. There it is. You treated me low. Yep, saving that one. All right. I'm out of here, guys. Y'all have a great night. Hope you enjoyed the talk with Mr. Cunningham earlier. I guess we'll continue this Sunday night. Guess that goes for all of you guys. Have a good one. Matt, Pete, BW, NASCAR, Hoss, Wilkie, Luke, BW, Gig, Bryant, Denny, Celine's favorite, fuck you. Miss anybody? The Unbiased Opinion. Love that name. The Unbiased Opinion. Christopher Rattlehead Duncan. Ballard. That's about it, I guess. That'll be Sunday night, 8 o'clock gig. We'll see you guys then. Oh, Megan, of course, Melissa, TK, you guys were in here, of course, most of the night. Don't see you now, but you guys have a good one. And love you. Mean it. I don't know why you're so mad at me. Oh, I don't know what I have done wrong. You treated me bad. Now I'm feeling so sad. Let's put some Beatles on it.